I'm Edith Wallace. I'm a master gardener. I'm a volunteer here, and I will try to answer your questions. You can tell me what things are, and if I make a mistake, please let me know, because a lot of times I've learned from people on the tour. So we're going to go around this way, and what I usually do on a Sunday tour. Before 1800, it was like all of northern New Jersey, forest, because we have a lot of rain and trees grow. And about 1800, two families, the Morris family and another family, had, between them over 1,000 acres, and they farmed. And I would call it hardscrabble farming. That's what it had to be. And so they made their livings here for about 100 years. And about 1900, a little before that, a man by the name of Stetson bought the farms and turned this into a gentleman's farm. So Lewis was here, and he was a real plant person, and he acquired plants from North America, Asia, Europe, and South America, and planted them here, again with different landscape architects. You're now in the winter garden, and the winter garden has been here since Stetson's time. All right, so look back from here at all of the shades of green. Think of Lewis sitting in his office, being able to look out all winter. But to me, it's all of the shades of green: yellow green, blue green, light green, dark green, gray green. Just wonderful. How come apples grow on apple trees, peaches grow on peach trees, oranges grow on orange trees, and on this tree grow acorns grow on oak trees? How? Do you know what kind? Yeah.
The acorn tree.
A child might call it that and be quite logical. And it's being eaten.
Gypsy nuts.
They eat most everything. What kind of oak tree is it?
Is it pin oak?
This is the New Jersey State
Red.
red,
Oak.
the northern red oak. All right. All of those fruits I mentioned are for dispersal of seeds, and all I mentioned are really to attract animals to eat the fruit, and, or in the case of the acorns, plant them while they store them away, and that's for dispersal. And this is, it's got a whole lot of names. In England, it's a lime tree. If you're a carver, it's basswood. It's also called linden, and the botanic name is Tilia. The head gardener has too much to do, and we all have limited resources, but his are more limited when you consider 96 acres of garden. And, so in Stetson's time, this was golf course. And then it's a wonderful lawn. On the other hand, we spend a lot of money mowing. And you know of Douglas Tallamy, the bringing nature home. And he said, as far as a bird is concerned, this is a desert. We need trees with caterpillars. If you have 1950s landscaping, you have yews. Y-E-W-S. I have fun with grandchildren. Spell you, no, spell it another way and be right also. There are three kinds of yews. We have a lot of fun with that. And sometimes I've seen people climbing, they don't understand, it's a public park. Anyway, this is a well-grown yew. All right, there's a brochure on the statuary, and there are lots of little brochures that are interesting. That one's a sugar maple. How can I tell? By the bark. I don't bark very well, but The bark is distinctive on this one. The shape of the leaf and the samaras. This is the sugar maple. I only want to pick one because I want one to be here when I come back Sunday, and I'm going to compare it to another one. That's the seed. Okay, hold on to it, please. Samara, S-A-M-A-R-A, is the proper name of the seed and its cover. It, in truth, is the fruit of the sugar maple. If you don't want your plants eaten by deer, deer don't often, I wouldn't trust a deer. I'm not even sure I'd stand still in deer country. I know they're vegetarians, but there's some disease that's getting the boxwood down. This, anybody want to guess? Yes.
Oh yeah, look at the little
Canadian hen, you got little cones? Yes, there. Oh, and by the way, what kind of cones do hemlocks have? Hemlock cones.
not pine cones.
Not pine
Everybody
cones.
sees a cone, they always say pine,
Pine cone, like it's one word.
Yes.
This one, I do not right now see any evidence of scale. You see any?
Woolly
adelgid. Oh, see the baby hemlock
They're
cones?
so cute. The ones in Laurelwood.
The little brown ones.
Fall. Look at this.
That's the little brown ones were male cones that made pollen. And the little green ones are the female cone that will grow to what you saw, the brown one. Now, when you buy a plant, it said you're supposed to put it in moist, well-drained soil. There's no such thing, except on the side of a hill where hemlocks grow by themselves, like Tillman's Ravine, Dingman's Ferry, that area. You know, the ginkgo biloba is the botanic name. Some people try to, they take they're really cones, because, but you can call them fruits, and then some extract of that's supposed to keep your brain working forever. What I think is keeps the advertisers making money. So, but the fan-shaped leaf, and in the fall the leaves turn yellow, and then in a day they pretty much all fall down. All right, weeping cherry. How do you know it's a weeping cherry? Well, you can see that it's weeping. And now do you believe me it's a cherry? All right. How do you tell a Norway maple? Because when you cut off the leaf, maybe not at the end of the fall, but now the sap is milky.
Oh yeah.
And only the Norway maple makes the milky sap. And if you have a Norway maple,
I know I have.
it's not a treasure.
No.
And if you buy one of those, is it called crimson? Has red leaves. It will make seeds, and the babies will grow up as just plain old Norway maples. Another invasive plant, the shrub honeysuckles. But this is what I came to show you. Yes.
Poison ivy.
Yes.
It's very healthy.
Yes.
Very healthy. It likes it there.
And all of the things that you've learned to identify poison ivy. In the spring it's pretty red, in the fall it's beautiful yellow. It has 3 leaflets, but if you stay away from everything with 3 leaflets, you'll miss raspberries. There's a weeping, what did I call it before, linden?
Linden?
There it is, weeping, and this is a beech. It's a European beech. How do I know it's a beech? Well, later in the year it has buds that are really distinctive, and on the ground or on the tree at another time of year are beech nuts. And if you're old enough, you remember beech nut gum that was once upon a time made with beech
Well,
nuts.
you're at the shelves of them, right?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what these are?
Yes.
We should use a place of Pakistan.
Yes, we should use epimedium in place of pachysandra. It is not green all winter. So what? If you go in the woods, they're not plants up to the roots of the tree, but you don't have to mow it. There's epimedium with yellow flowers, with pink flowers, with white flowers, with red flowers, and it's not native, but then neither is this, the vinca or myrtle, and myrtle's an old name. We don't use that anymore. It's like plantains for hostas. You just don't use plantain. Yeah, my father did. This is the octagonal garden, and up above the wall, it's an alpine garden, mostly alpine plants. Where is it? The statues they're European, and the style of the times. All right, so these are the terrace gardens. Let me tell you about the great magnolias.
Okay.
This is Magnolia LA, and they're Sweet Bay magnolias that are native to New Jersey. And if you go up about 10 trees, one has a whitish yellow flower about this big around, and you can pull it down and be intoxicated by the odor.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they're Sweet Bay magnolia. It was on this side. Yeah. All right. So this was supposed to be a fragrant allée that should, in theory, waft its odors up to the main house. All right. Favorite food of deer is hosta, and they may or may not eat them this summer. It depends on what else they find that they might like even better. Lots of hostas in here. Oh, I want to talk about this. I think it's been here forever, and in the winter you can see the architecture, but it has been badly damaged over the years, and now look at it. All right, this azalea rhododendron garden a few years ago was absolutely gorgeous, like 15 years ago, and the deer predation has been awful. And yet it looked pretty good a little while ago. This is a really good year for rhododendrons. The five-leaf akiba is invasive, and it has fruits like this in a maroon color. And that's what's really great about it, not the flowers. The summer garden is a study in symmetry and balance. The main axis cuts through the center, while a secondary axis opens the garden to the east and west lawns. 4 golden chain trees, fronted by 4 benches, anchor each quadrant outlined in box. We had a lesson about that. All right, this is the herbaceous peony garden. And the shade of the Norway spruce and the pines have hurt the herbaceous peony garden. And there used to be a volunteer, remember Walter?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was here every Wednesday and taking care of the peonies. And
This is not the herbaceous, it's the tree peony.
thank you, they're tree peonies. The herbaceous peonies are over there. And then at the end, there are 2 Dianas at the end of the bench, and it's supposed to be a whispering bench, and there are hemlocks behind it. Lilac gardens, 12 different beds, about close to 200 plants. And I found a new plant, a new lilac when I drove in today. It was a tree lilac, and this was a long time ago. I was making friends with a lady. We were in a horticultural class, and she said her friend told her that she had to buy a tree lilac. Tree lilac? There's no tree lilac. Well, of course, we were ignorant. And where can I show you a tree lilac? Straight ahead, there's a bench. The bench surrounds the tree lilac, and the light green things on that tree lilac are buds. So in June, it will be in full bloom. And we have probably a dozen tree lilacs here and there. Oh yeah, the little one in the middle that was badly hurt by the pine tree that came down. Lilacs start blooming in April, probably the middle to end of April, and I will now advertise. I believe that I've I've been invited, but it has to go through the board, to give the Tubbs talk at Willowwood next year. Should be the end of April, and there should be lilacs. They want the lilac talk, of course. There should be lilacs in bloom then, but I'm trying to say that lilacs start blooming depends on the weather, to late April, and they go on. Look, it's June. Their peak is usually Mother's Day. And this is that's pinnatifolia. Look, lilacs have heart-shaped leaves, except. And it was given to us as about this high, and then it grew this high, and then a snowstorm came, and now it's recovered, and it has the flowers are insignificant. Pinnatifolia.
Is there a sign there?
Yeah. All right, Marty, the tree grows. I try to put the signs where
People can see them. Yeah, well, I don't.
the tree grew, I said.
I don't put that down there. But this up here, they all disappeared. That was it. The signs disappeared.
Oh, because so you put them so people didn't see them so
People
much?
take them.
They take the signs.
They take
Oh,
them.
yeah, they do.
Maybe we need boxes with pads of paper. All right, but look at them. Oh, the advertised lilac is this Miss Kim.
Yes.
Well, I thought it was highly overrated until
Is that right there?
that's Miss Kim. But it won't look like that next year.
What'll happen?
It'll just have a few flowers.
Every other
It won't be glorious.
Like every other year?
I don't know, but every year I have seen it like this, and I have come back and said, oh, my first opinion was right, and then I come here, and there it is. Absolutely. It's after 2:30.
Japanese? That lilac is a Japanese lilac? Or
Korean.
Korean?
What's all the pink? It is a geranium. Yeah. All right. So when I first got into the tree project, I wanted a photograph of a yellowwood. So I took my ladder down to one of the churches in town and climbed up on the ladder and took the picture of the yellowwood flowers. And then I came up here and said,
There it is.
Oh,
Oh.
this is yellow wood?
yes.
Oh, I have one. It has never bloomed yet.
Oh, okay.
You have to take a picture.
Those two trees in the middle were, the Landscape Association gave them after 9/11. They were to represent the Twin Towers and
And one got big and one didn't.
got eaten, and
Oh.
hopefully it will grow. You've seen it before. Yes, very good, Sarah, very good.
I said to her, and she said, no, it's not that.
I don't know.
What's different about it?
These are pinky.
Right, it's a pink yellowwood.
Instead of white yellowwood.
Oh,
Why are they called
okay.
yellowwood? Because the wood's
No, I was here. Look what happened. It got torn off, and it's someplace in my computer. It's yellow.
the wood.
It's really yellow,
Okay, that's why it's
and that's why it's a yellowwood. But of course, it's been exposed for years. But one winter, something happened, and a piece broke off, and it really.
If you see a little bit up higher, the bark is gone. It looks pretty yellow.
No, this is yellow.
Really yellow. Okay.
Really yellow. Anyway, this is an oak leaf hydrangea, which is native really further south. Star magnolia. I've got a beautiful picture of that. When should you come to a garden? About every 3 weeks. All right, the script says there are 8 beds, so I counted them earlier. There really are 8 beds here. And the script talks about, in Lewis's time, this was much more extensive. The amazing thing to me about the perennial garden, there are 2. One is it's completely volunteer cared for. They've had really dedicated people over the years. And the other one is it blooms from spring through fall. I once, in my ignorance, thought perennials bloomed I guess, early. But they bloom, and different ones bloom at different times. And there's a sign up there with pictures of some of them, so you can identify them. Let me take the script and the pen,
Oh, sure.
so when you decide to disappear,
Right.
you won't go off with
Right,
it.
I'm going to keep it. Oh, it's nice right here.
Yes, yes. When you're leading a group, you always stop in the shade. Swan boy. Oh, the other thing I forget to talk about is the axes.
Oh, yeah.
The axes from behind the fountain down through here, and then you've got an east-west axis as well from the gate there that has both clematis and silvervine, let's call it. It's a different family. Two, all right, we can, if we're not too tired, go through there to see the primrose. Over in there is the hosta garden, the rock moraine garden. Then you go through the next gate into the wildflower bog. Way down there is Swan Pond. And things have been added recently. All right, let's walk up this way and then we can come back.